If you find yourself looking for free Raiders videos every single day, look no further than the Raiders Report. Make sure you subscribe, or you can go ahead and type into your search bar youtube.com/Raiders Report, where we're keeping you guys updated on the entire offseason. So if Julio Jones gets traded, if the Raiders sign a top free agent, you're not going to miss it. So hit that big red button underneath this video and turn on those noties. That way you can join us live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. No matter the location, from OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. First question coming up here on the Raiders Report is from Dom Waxy. What is Willie Snead's job? To catch the football? No, he's probably going to be this backup receiver to Hunter Renfrow. I'm going to guess he's going to end up somewhere around 20 to 25 catches this year, picking up a few clutch first downs because he's kind of a hard guy to wrap my mind around. If you were to ask me, which are the top 6 receivers making the final roster? Ruggs, Brown, Edwards, Renfrow, Snead, Zay Jones. Those are the top 6 guys I believe make it. He's just a veteran presence that can come in and fill where he needs to be filled in at, I guess, at slot, and just in case if a guy like John Brown goes down. What up, B? Who has more touchdowns this year, Ruggs or Edwards? I'm going to go ahead and say Ruggs for the simple fact I believe he's going to get a lot more snaps. I believe he's going to get more targets. If both guys can stay 100% healthy, and if both guys, let's say, both get 100 targets, I would actually go advantage Bryan Edwards because he's a better red zone option just due to his size alone. But if we're going to go with opportunities and opportunities alone, that's how a lot of statistics are projected, and I'm a big fantasy football player, so I'm going to go ahead and say Henry Ruggs. But hey, type R for Ruggs, type E for Edwards. I don't know if you can really go with a wrong answer here. So if you guys want to get your questions on the show, look down below, #Raiders, or you can go ahead and super chat. This one's coming in from Zach Series. Thoughts on the Raiders trading for Trey Flowers? I know Flowers was a player that we talked about a whole bunch last offseason, or maybe 2 offseasons at this point, signed a monster contract with the Detroit Lions, and has actually been featured in a lot of Lions trade rumors. The issue is this. I'm not going to go out and pay a player $15 million a year for the next, 4 or 5 years or something crazy like that for somebody that had this type of production. I was wrong on Trey Flowers. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense. And the reason why he was linked there is because at that time, edge rusher was one of the biggest weaknesses for the Raiders. So speaking of weaknesses, what do y'all think is the Raiders' biggest weakness right now? Is it still maybe edge? Is it the offensive line? Could you go out and say, I don't know, it's a wide receiver position? I'm genuinely curious what y'all think the Raiders' biggest weakness is right now. What up, Phil? Can we make Abram change his number till he earns it, please? Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that don't like the fact that he wears 24, and 24 is obviously a special number because of this guy right here, and also because of guys like Beast Mode. But, you like to hope that he's going to be able to earn it. Maybe he carries a little extra chip on his shoulder, but I'm also not the biggest fan of retiring numbers or making guys earn it because there comes a certain point where technically then all the numbers would be gone. Let's go to Shane, 1515, MM and a third. So I think you're saying Marcus Mariota and a third-round pick to get Julio Jones. I would not say yes if I was Atlanta. You'd have to give up a lot more. Mariota's a good quarterback, but they still have Matt Ryan, and they would want more. So you'd probably have to say Marcus Mariota, a second-round pick, and even a little bit more on top of that. What up, Can't Walk? Much love, brother. Just finished my final for school. Raiders, what's your bold prediction for Carr this year? My bold prediction for Carr this year would be, Sam just said he's going to win the MVP. No, I think you're going to look at another year where he could be over 25 touchdowns and under 10 interceptions. And the reason why that's tough, plus over 4,000 yards, last season there were only 3 quarterbacks that threw for over 4,000 yards, had less than 10 interceptions, and close to, it was over 27 touchdowns or something like that. It was Aaron Rodgers, it was Derek Carr, and the other name for whatever reason is escaping me right now. If Derek can get to 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and under 10 INTs, that's my bold prediction. What up, Morris? Your caps are on. All right, hang on. Should the Raiders sign Morgan Moses? So if you guys don't know, Morgan Moses, right tackle, or at least he used to be for the Washington football team, they decided to move on from him to save some cap. Now, he's got to visit with the Chicago Bears, and apparently he's going to visit with a few other teams. I believe the New York Jets are in there as well. He started 16 games last season, 5 sacks allowed. If you were to ask me, is he better than Alex Leatherwood right now? I would say yes. I would rather have Moses playing right tackle than Leatherwood right now. The issue is, and the reason why I'm going to say no, is because you drafted Alex Leatherwood to play right tackle, and all the reports right now have been that he looks really good, and I've heard a lot of players say that this guy, he might really be up to the challenge. So I like Moses, but I'm simply going to say no. But Moses is a free agent. It sounds kind of weird coming out of my mouth. But who do you guys want the Raiders to sign? Is there another top dude out there? Maybe a KJ Wright. Maybe a Richard Sherman. Maybe a Melvin Ingram, Justin Houston. Maybe you do want somebody like Moses. Or is it a player that a lot of people aren't talking about? Sheldon Richardson. Could it be somebody that used to play for the Raiders? Maybe like a P.J. Hall. I don't know. Name a free agent you want the Raiders to go out and sign. If you like the shirt I have on, then you absolutely love Autumn Abyss. Head on over to autumnabyss.com and use code Woodson, HOF, to save 30% off on all their high-quality Raiders apparel. If you want stuff that feels better than dry fit and it's a fraction of the cost, head on over to autumnabyss.com and use code Woodson, HOF. The last week's Raiders Report, I gave away 3 of the shirts that I have on right now, and shout out to RJ Raider, Lisa, and Fresh Ceviche for winning those bad boys. If you didn't win the Raiders shirt, it's probably because you don't follow Autumn Abyss on IG. So if you could, go give them a follow on Instagram at Autumn Abyss Gear. They're always putting out new content. They're always telling y'all, hey, here's how you go ahead and win some free stuff. I don't know about you, I like free stuff. But if you want to go out and make sure you absolutely get one of your shirts, autumnabyss.com. That code is available in the comments. It's also available in the description. I've worn their Bo Jackson shirt. I've worn their Yannick Ngakoue shirt. I've worn their, so many shirts at this point by them. Honestly, they're all really nice. Please go check them out and support our show sponsors. It helps us out a lot. What up, Isaac? Should we get Yannick and Max help on the defensive front? I personally think we should, but I want to see what you think, and thanks for reading my question. You got it, man. I mean, you already have Cleveland Furl. It's not disrespect my man Clee. And you also went out and got Malcolm Kuhn. So, in terms of helping those guys on the defensive front, you're hoping Solomon Thomas can step up. You're hoping Quentin Jefferson can step up on the defensive line. You're hoping Johnathan Hankins continue to play well. Is there a part of me that believes that the Raiders could still go out and sign somebody on the defensive line? I do, because they were hoping that David Irving would be somebody that made that 53-man roster. The fact that he showed up out of shape and unmotivated, that tells me that they still want somebody on that defensive line. So whether that's a free agent, whether it's a player that they go out and trade for, I believe that you could still see them go out and make a move for somebody on the defensive line. Now, if I didn't get to y'all's question, hit me up on IG, Mitchell Renz 365. If you want to go ahead and give Sam a follow on Twitter, he's the guy producing the show right now. He's at Sam Brown CS. Go ahead and give my man. He's the guy working hard behind the scenes, pushing all the buttons to make sure that we have a show. But if you guys want to hit me up, talk a little Raiders, the IG, it's down below. What up, Isaac? What if the Raiders signed Terrell Pryor? I'm good on Pryor. He had one good year, I believe, with what? Was it the Jets or the Washington football team? I don't even remember at this point. He was the quarterback, at Ohio State, good athlete. I'm good on Pryor, man. I'm done with these experiments with these players. I don't need a Tim Tebow. Mr. 84 Highlights. What do you think about the Raiders signing Richard Sherman? Thanks for reading my question. It's one of those moves where I don't see it happening at this point. If they were to go out and do it, it means bad news for Damon Arnett. It could potentially mean actually a trade for one of those guys personally. Like, if you're going to go out and get Sherman, you have to pay him. That also means you're going to start him. I also believe that Casey Hayward's going to start. So that means you got Mullen, Hayward, and Richard Sherman. What does that mean for Rasul Douglas? What does that mean for Damon Arnett? What does that mean for guys like Isaiah Johnson, Amik Robertson? I mean, you have a lot of young players that you want to be able to see. So I think their old veteran move at cornerback was Hayward. It's not going to be Sherman. Christopher Rios, will we some more Foster? Will we get Foster Moreau more targets or more opportunities? I hope so. He definitely deserves them. The biggest reason why he didn't get a lot of work last year is pretty simple. I mean, he was coming off a pretty wicked injury. They wanted to see what Jason Witten could do. But, I mean, at the end of the year, you clearly saw that Foster, when healthy, was clearly better than Witten. Everything that I read, people that I personally know that know Foster Moreau closely from LSU, say that he's in great shape. He's going to be able to rock and roll. But for a dude who's got already 7 career touchdowns and, it's 17 catches, he's an absolute red zone monster. If you want a bold prediction, don't be surprised if Foster Moreau leads his team in touchdown catches. That's a really bold prediction. But I'm telling you, just from targets alone and the way Derek looks at him, hey, I think it could happen. Let's go to Joker Johnson. Where can I get that shirt from? AutomaBiz.com. Use code Woodson Hall of Fame, HOF, Woodson, HOF down below to save 30%. So speaking of Woodson, who's the greatest Raider ever? Is it Woodson? Is it Bo Jackson? Jack Tatum? With a team like the Raiders, they have so much history. But this also creates good conversation. And I like being able to ask y'all who your favorite Raiders of all time because I'm a new Raider fan. I didn't grow up watching these guys in the 80s, believe it or not, because I was born in 93. But I'm always genuinely curious on who y'all think the greatest Raider is of all time. A lot of great history here. Scott Borgen says George Bland. I got a Bo Jackson from Rossman. And down there below, I'm a big fan of Charles Woodson. So if you guys think that Woodson's the GOAT and you like my shirt, again, AutomaBiz.com, code Woodson, HOF to save 30%. All right, what up, Eric? Do you believe Carr really has the ability to lead us to a Super Bowl? Do you think that he's on Russell Wilson? In terms of the guys that you just mentioned, no. I don't think Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. When we did our rankings for Chat Sports, I had him ranked, I believe, at number 12 or 13. He ended up being the ranked 14th quarterback in our Chat Sports rankings. I mean, I've seen this. When he's got a lot of good talent around him, Derek can be successful. When he doesn't have a lot of good talent around him, he struggles a little bit. You can't put him in the same conversation as those other dudes that you just mentioned. He's good for about 11 to 12 games. Those other guys don't really ever have bad games. So I like Derek a lot. I don't know, though, with the current roster that we have right now, if he could ever lead us to a Super Bowl. You like to believe he can, but again, I always think it's funny. The Raiders have this saying where it's commitment to excellence. Derek Carr's good. He's not excellent. Let's go. All right, Aaron Sabo, should the Raiders get Sheldon Richardson? If you tell me right now I can go out and get a defensive tackle, it's between Sheldon Richardson and Geno Atkins. If you're looking for somebody that can replace David Irving, those are the top two guys that I'm making the phone call to. Oscar DLT, Jamarcus Russell, the GOAT. I know you're trolling me, but you put a super chat in there. And if I'm going back, I guess, to the number retiring argument, the only way I would do it is if they, transcend not just one team, but the entire NFL. The only example I can make right now is, Jackie Robinson retiring number 42 because of what he did for baseball. That's maybe the only difference. All right, we got a big-time super coming in from Lareza Norteña. Would you rather trade for Julio or trade for Devante Adams if he becomes available via trade? I would rather trade for Devante Adams. Now, it's going to cost you a lot more. I'm a believer that if you're going to trade for Devante, it's probably going to cost 2 first-round picks, plus you're going to have to give him an extension as well. So you're talking about $22 million a year, probably plus 2 first-rounders. So, it's a steep price. However, I'm a believer that Devante Adams can be a top 5, top 10 receiver for the next 3 to 5 years. That has a lot of good value to it, and I'm a big fan of Adams, so I'm actually going to go Adams' route.